In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how I transformed my gorgeous model to a Nigerian bride, a noble bride. If this is what you'd like to see, keep on watching. So first thing, I'm going to be using my wipe to clean up the face, just to remove dirt and oil. Then I went ahead to hydrate the skin, to give the skin a little bit of hydration, after which I allowed it to dry before moisturizing with my Cetaphil moisturizer. So next I'm going to be priming her face with my Kiss Beauty Foundation Primer. This is going to give the makeup a very good base to sit on. For foundation, I'm going to be using my Blend Brilliant foundation in the shade L22. I'm going to start by using a flat brush to apply on her face. Then I went ahead to spray the face for easy blending before using my damp beauty sponge to blend the foundation into the skin. So after blending in the foundation, next is to do my cream contouring. I'm going to be using this Blend Brilliant foundation. This shade is like 3 shades darker than her skin. I'm going to be using it to contour her face. I'm applying it on the places I want to contour before blending it into the skin. For cream blush, I'm going to be applying this Nigerian Beauty cream blush above the cheekbone and a little bit on the tip of her nose. Then I went ahead to blend using my beauty sponge. To highlight the face, I'm going to be using my Milani concealer in the shade 145 to highlight the face. I'm applying it on the places I want to highlight. Then after that, I used my beauty sponge to blend the concealer on the highlighted area. For nose contouring, I'm going to be using the same shade of foundation I used to contour the face to contour the nose. So I'm using a flat brush to apply it first before blending using my beauty sponge to avoid any harsh lines. After that, next is to set the concealer on the highlighted area. I'm going to be using my Nigerian Beauty setting powder in the shade Alabaster, sorry. But before that, I went back with my beauty sponge to blend the areas underneath the eyes to avoid creasing. Then I went ahead to set. So while setting, do not pack too much setting powder. A little quantity goes a long way, and make sure you set properly so that you don't have patches. So next is to set the rest of her face. I'm going to be using her powder shade from this Blend Brilliant powder palette to set the rest of her face. For dry contouring, which is low light contouring, I'm going to be taking this darker shade from the same powder palette to set the cream contour that I did earlier. I'm going to be doing the same thing on the nose. I did cream contouring on the nose earlier on, so I'm doing powder contouring. It's also important you do your powder contouring after your cream contouring. So I'm just using a nose contour brush to snatch the nose. After that, I'm going to be applying a lighter shade of powder from the same powder palette. I'm going to be applying it on the highlighted area just to give it a little bit of coverage. You can use your beauty sponge or you can use your brush that's a fluffy brush, to apply a little lighter shade of powder on the highlighted area. So after that, I'm going to be applying my powdery blush. I'm going to be taking this shade from my Tara blush palette. I'm going to be applying it above the cheekbone, exactly the place I applied the cream blush. So I'm just taking my time to blend it in. After that, I'm going to be using my powder brush to blend everything together. Next, I'm going to be setting the face with my Case Beauty Spray. This is going to help reduce the powder effect and also help all the products absorb properly into the skin. After that, I'm going to let it dry into the skin before baking. For baking, I'm going to be using the same setting powder I used to set the face to bake the face. So moving on to the brows, I'm going to be taking a little bit of my brow tamer. I'm going to be applying it on her brows just to lay it nicely using my spoolie brush. Then next, I'm going to be priming her lid with my Viange eyeshadow base. So I'm just going to apply it on her lid. After priming the lid, moving on to eyeshadow, I'm going to be taking this shade of eyeshadow from my Annie's Beauty eyeshadow palette. I'm going to start by applying it from the outer corner of her lid, then blended it into her crease using an eyeshadow blending brush. Now I'm going to be doing the other eyes as well, following the same method. After that, I'm going to be taking this peach color from my Cheesecake blush palette. I'm going to be using it to blend the edges of the eyeshadow. This is more like a transition color, so I'm just gonna use it to blend using a different eyeshadow brush. So I went back applying this eyeshadow on her crease again because I want this eyeshadow to pop very well. So next, I'm going to darken her crease with this darker shade. This is a brown color. I'm going to be using it to darken her crease. So I'm going to start by applying it from the outer corner of her lid, then gently move it into her crease. So next, I'm going to be applying a little glitter glue on the inner corner of her lid. This is going to help me hold my pigment. So after applying it, I'm going to be taking a little bit of this pigment from MK. So I'm gently placing it on the inner corner of her lid. After that, I'm going to be adding a little bit of this shade. I tried to use my brush, it wasn't coming out as I expected. I decided to use my finger to do the job. So I went back applying that first pigment that I applied. I went back applying more of it because I don't want this color, this sea green color, to overshadow it. Then I'm going to go back with this darker shade of eyeshadow with this small tiny brush. I'm going to be applying it on her crease just to darken her crease. So next, I'm going to be applying a lighter shade of powder on the outer corner of her lid to define the lid. You can also use a setting powder. It's either use a setting powder or a lighter shade of powder. Then after that, I went back with this shade. I'm going to be applying it on the areas underneath her waterline using a very tiny flat brush. Then after that, I'm going to be lining her upper and lower lash line with my Carrot gel liner, the black shade. So next is to enhance her upper lashes with my Case Beauty mascara. So next I'm going to be drawing her brows using my carrot gel and the brown shade. So I'm going to be drawing the brows using my brow brush, following the shape of her brows. So first thing is to outline the brows before you fill it in to fill in the scanty areas. After that, I'm going to be highlighting the brows with the same concealer I used to highlight the face, to highlight the brows. So while highlighting the brows, I do not like to pack too much concealer. A little quantity goes a long way. So after highlighting with concealer, I'm going to be blending it immediately with a small blending brush so that it doesn't get dry and look tacky. After blending, I'm going to be doing the other brows as well, following the same method. So next is to set the concealer with a lighter shade of powder. After that, I went back applying this peach color on her crease. So I went back applying it so there won't be any demarcation. So next is to highlight the top of the brows. I'm going to be using the same foundation I used on her face to highlight the top of her brows. If I use the same concealer I used underneath her eyes to highlight the top, it's going to look too bright. And if I'm not able to blend it well, it won't look nice. So it's best to use your foundation color to highlight the top of the brows. With that, you won't be able to see any form of concealer or foundation. Then after that, moving on to the lip, I'm going to be taking this shade of concealer for the lip. I'm trying to create a very subtle kind of lip, so I'm applying it on her lip. After that, I'm going to be blending it. Then I'm going to be applying this dark brown from my Blossom lip palette. I'm going to be using it to outline the lip. Then after that, I went back using the same brush to blend. Then I also added a little gloss on her lip because I'm trying to create a very subtle lip. So next I'm going to be wearing her lashes from She Lashes. Then after wearing her the lashes, I'm going to be enhancing her lower lashes with my Zaron mascara. So next I went back with that contour shade I used to contour the face. I went back using it to blend the places I contoured. So next I added a little bit of this powder shade on her brow bone because I love the color of the powder. So it's just making the eyeshadow look very colorful. After that, I went back with the same contour brush to blend again. One thing with having a flawless finish look is how you blend. Then I went back with my powder brush to blend everything together. After blending everything together, I applied some more blush on her cheekbone because I want the makeup to pop very well. Then after that, I'm going to be taking my fluffy brush to dust off the excess powder on her face. Then I went back to snatch her nose again with the same contour shade I used, like the slightly darker shade of powder. I went back using it to touch her nose. Then after that, I went back using my powder brush to blend everything together to be sure everything is well blended. Then after that, I'm going to be setting the face with the same Kiss Beauty setting spray. After setting the spray, After setting the face, I'm going to let it dry properly into the skin before moving on to highlighter. For highlighter, I'm going to be using this shade from my Tehila highlighter and blush palette. I'm going to apply it on the places I want the highlight to pop. After that, I went back to blend again with my powder brush to avoid any harsh lines. Then lastly, before the spray, I'm going to be using my TMA Essential Always Glow. This is going to help your face to glow very well. So I'm just applying a little on the places I applied the highlighter on her face. Then I went back to touch, like to blend any place that I see harsh lines. After that, I'm going to be setting the face for the last time. Then I allowed it to dry into the skin. If she was a bride, I would have applied a sealant spray. So this was my girl trying to tie her gilly, so she was using edge control to lay her hairline. And then I added a little bit of this highlighter from Newborn Beauty. I'm applying a little bit of it on her tear dot. And guys, this is the finished look. So my girl did the gilly after the makeup. This is the finished look. If you enjoyed watching this video, let me know in the comment section. Please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. It's your girl Cynthia Makeover. I will see you all in my next video. Bye guys.